Hi everyone, we are from LAX2049. So today we are doing our video discussion 5 about lifestyle. Okay, now let me introduce my member. My name is Sudana Vitlani. My metric number is 194093.
Hi everyone, my name is Nadisha Mabiti Samil and my metric number is 188010.
Hi, my name is Tang Ho An and my metric number is 202225.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Wakim bin Zulkifli. My metric number is 190291.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Rais bin Zulkifli and my metric number is 187493.
Hi everyone, my name is Nofaraim binti Muhammad Razik and my metric number is 200853.
Hi, my name is Ashwini Vandana and my metric number is 195313.
Hi, my name is Jesse. My metric number is 195372.
Okay, so let me share my view. My news for today.
The topic for today is?
Topic for today is lifestyle, as I mentioned before. So, okay, my news for today is about the politeness between young and adult. Nowadays, as you can see from the recent news about the degree.
Okay, go ahead.
They go to the convocation and then the student asked the vice chancellors to go down from the stage, and this kind of student do they not respect the elders. So as we know, when we in other countries, so we have to respect whether we are young, we must respect the old one, right?
Yes.
You agree? Okay, so from this, from my view also, I have news from UK. And at UK, they already train the young one to be more polite towards elders. So what I can conclude here is, why not we in Malaysia try to educate the youngest from their from childhood.
I would like to add some on Diana's news. As we know that Korean culture, they have different type of way of speaking to the older. They have like formal speaking and then informal speaking. Like you can only talk informally to those younger than you or the same age. But you need to speak at all time formally to the elders. So I think Korean culture can be a good example for us.
And Japan also.
Japan.
Sorry. Japan, Thailand also. Whatever lah. So that's all for my news today. So how about you?
Okay. So for my news today, I would like to tell you about this culture, about how we girls like to become more fairer and fairer day by day, because we've been we've been fit like those Americans that they have fairer skin can be considered as beautiful, but those with like African, they have darker skin tone, they've been claimed as not so beautiful.
But don't Americans like to get their skin tanned?
Yeah, because that's where the plot twist. Because before, in the beauty industry, only pale and white skin is considered beautiful. But there's one, I can't remember her name, but she's the one who make this stigma turn from this pale skin into a more melanin color skin, like as Asian. So that's why now American, they start to get more tan. And okay, but that's not my exact news. What I'm trying to tell you guys today is about skin bleaching, which is actually poisoning women, but somehow the business is booming. Like in Philippines, we know they got a lot of transgender and they've been consuming this kind of medicine that can improve their skin tone, making them more fair, more smooth. But those chemicals actually been poisoning their body. So, but somehow because of the stigma that been claimed that if you have a fairer skin tone, then only you'll be considered as beautiful. The business keep going on.
Okay.
Why you guys look so blurred?
But for my opinion, beauty all of us have a different perspective of beauty, right?
It's very
Subjective.
Beauty is very subjective. Right, tan.
But commonly when someone appear to have like fairer skin, will just say, "Oh, you look so beautiful." But
How about the dark one?
But do you guys know is fair skin is also a kind of a disease?
yeah,
So it is not always that fair skin is better. Fair skin is actually equivalent to saying that people with disease. I
because
don't know
their lack of
the history
melanin,
about
right?
the disease, but being fair is disease. So those who we are having dark skin, we are not
Yeah.
disease holder. We are safe.
The disease is because of the melanin deficiency,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
The UV rays
Correct.
can
That's
like,
the reason I guess they are like everyday sunbath and kind of thing.
Right. Next, moving on.
So myself is about dementia. Do you know, guys? Dementia is about cognitive disease. So my topic for today is like dementia parents children likely to get disease 6 years earlier. So Washington, there was a research in Washington School of Medicine that adults whose parents have dementia are likely to develop the same symptoms at average of 6 years earlier.
Dementia is what?
It's like there is some rosakan in the head and which will cause macam
Memory loss, is it?
memory
Oh,
loss,
yeah.
some sort of memory loss and vision deficiency and all that. So what they are trying to say is that it is important to know who is going to get dementia, but it's also important to know when symptoms will develop. So that means now the research is saying that nowadays lifestyle, even a 6 years old kid can get dementia if the parents is holding the same disease.
Oh,
So they are trying to say that there are so many factors that affecting and accelerate this problem, but what they are trying to say is that it's better for the parents who is having kids and they are having dementia for them to change their lifestyle, because having dementia at the age of 6 is very dangerous and life-threatening. So Washington, they're doing so many programs and stuff so that they can reduce the number of children having dementia. So what I'm trying to say is that lifestyle is changing, because as I know, when compared to my grandparents and myself, I can say at the age of 23 itself I get so many of diseases, like not diseases but I get weak easily compared to my grandma who is 70 plus. So lifestyle is changing from time to time, so maybe our lifestyle doesn't suit like how they used to be. So
we're not as
we are-
healthy as they
correct,
are.
we are not healthy actually because of, I guess most of us are having like fast foods and stuff. Our food contains more chemicals compared to organic things, so I guess that is one of the reasons. So yeah, that's all mine.
Alright. That's interesting to know.
Next.
Okay, my news today is about nursery versus nanny. So do you guys know what nanny and nursery is? Nanny is someone who you hired to do like house chores and also take care of your children. And in nanny is like uncommon in nowadays lifestyle, because they think that taking nanny is something that can ease your burden, because you are back from your work and your house is pretty and clean and nice and you're happy with the nanny's job. But nanny is like a bad thing because they are having like affairs, and also they claim to be thief, and also they are rumored to be like not having good relationship with your children, because when you are having nanny as someone who is like complete stranger, you become more in relationship with your children, because they tend to be more attached to your children and not you. And for me, like nanny is someone who you can trust, but it's like just to do like house chores and everything. And what is the advantage of taking putting your children into the nursery? Because putting your children into the nursery can increase your children's social life, because they tend to interact with other children and they become more active and so on, and their speaking skills become more fluent and whatsoever.
Whatsoever. Okay.
And yeah, but having nursery also have disadvantages, which when one children are sick, then
Affected.
it can affect another children. So that's all from me for the news nanny versus nursery today. Okay.
So which one would you rather choose, nanny or nursery?
For
Depends
me,
in future.
yep.
Don't know.
Don't know yet. I can decide later. How about you, Hawk? What news you got today?
Okay, I would like to share the news about the lifestyle of a retired athlete, Dato Lee Zhongwei. So, as you know, before Lee Zhongwei retired, he spending a lot of hours to practice on the badminton court, and he always want to to get the champions. But after he retired, and now he's spend most of his time with his wife and kids. According to him, he still pick up the badminton racket every now and then, but only to play with his son rather than with the intention of practicing to win his next match. And besides that, Dr. Lee Zhongwei also offered the role of national coach by the Badminton Association of Malaysia. Okay.
So he's not doing coaching or whatsoever, just stay at home and play with her son. His
Spending
son.
all of his money.
But Lee Chong Wei cannot play anymore, right?
Yeah.
Due to health, right?
So many
But then just play like activity.
But
Really.
I have
Playing
program
with the
about
kids.
TID.
Yeah.
So we do for BAM, and then I see he also together with us to join the TID. But I think he make the activity, but
Not hard one.
yes.
Like Tan mentioned, he does play but not as the intention to practice to win another match.
He
Just like
didn't get into match anymore.
normal match court. Normal match.
Yeah, not big bond.
What? Big one?
Yes, big game.
Oh.
So those we miss Dato' Lee Zhongwei on the court, but we are glad that Dato' Lee Zhongwei enjoying his retirement. That's all for my news.
Alright. Next.
Nice.
Gig economy.
Wah.
Wow.
I haven't even stated already. So my news will be about gig economy. Does anyone know what gig economy is? Gig, G-I-G. So gig economy, basically means a work for a certain period of time. Basically like freelancers or performing artists, you got paid for the amount of time that you perform or for the specific job that you did.
Lazada.
No, Lazada is not gig. For example, gig economy is if you're a singer, you get paid every time you sing. Or if you're a photographer, you get paid every time you take photo. Or if you're a Grab driver, every time you take your passengers. So, and now we know that around the world, gig economy is rising, and it is expected by next year, 40% of Americans will be working in this gig economy sector. And even in Malaysia, we can see many people retire from their job to do this thing, like dah makan food panda and so on.
That's what I meant by Lazada. They send their parcel, right?
You mean the delivery guy? Okay. The
Then
dispatch.
suddenly you say no.
I was thinking about Lazada platform. It's like
No.
alright. Okay, so
The dispatch.
this alright, so in the news from Malay Mail, Malaysia plan to include gig economy in the 12th Malaysia plan, which the Prime Minister say that this economy can contribute to the people who do it. My friend did this kind of job, and he earns around 1,000 per week, like for a student's
Panda.
food panda.
But now
Oh, not anymore. Yeah,
Because of, I guess we already talked about it.
Yeah, we already talked
previous
about it.
session,
Yeah, that's why I feel like I thought this is deja vu, right? But then
the rider
we
don't
already
have
had
basic.
this conversation before.
but not food panda lah. I mean, not food panda. There's a lot more of kind of gig economy. Okay, the point here is gig economy is good, but then it doesn't have any protection to the worker. No EPF, no SOCSO, and so on.
No increment.
Yeah, and therefore the government is trying to include this thing for the gig economy. Yeah.
I guess one of the reasons is that day by day the number of people who are riding for food panda and all that are meeting in so much of accidents and stuff. I guess that is the reason they are doing that. Maybe I don't know, but I guess it's better if they do that. So because pity them, they need some
Some kind of safety as well.
So
If not, they'll just be working for capitalists, like the case in Panda, right? Yeah. So I think this is a very positive move.
yeah.
Yeah, that be my best.
Because nowadays lifestyle people are like so lazy to go and get food, so they just have a call and they can
Yeah.
send
They need to
food
wait
and all
for the
that.
food.
Yeah, so I guess if this kind of people are increasing, the number of riders is also should be increased.
Right. Next. Yes.
Okay, mine
Then?
is about something related with the news. Okay, something related with the news about health. So nowadays people are very busy with the work and all, so they are grabbing fast foods and all. So there's a health issue in a family. So like the health issue is like a generation by generation. It's like your parents got diabetes, so the son will. So in future usually that. So at UK, a family they decided to join gym. Mother, father, 2 sons together, and they are like 56 plus. The parents.
So good.
They decided to go join gym because of their grandparents. They get parents at diabetes, and that's the reason they don't want to get a diabetes. So they went gym and
Work out.
work out and make their self healthier, more healthy. No? So maybe you can see the difference.
Ew.
56 years old.
Yeah, this is the son. This is the family picture actually.
Oh, that's a healthy family.
Why not Malaysia families? Why not they can try something like this?
But then the latest news about when we work out at night, it will affect our lung.
because he want increase the hormone about hormone melatonin, I think. We can sleep. We can't sleep, and then abnormal.
But why not all the bodybuilders are at gym at night only?
No, for good lifestyle, I think can't.
Maybe after work only they're going to gym, right?
Maybe they don't have time in the morning, so they change.
Based on the research,
Playing
it's not
badminton
good,
or
right?
futsal at night.
Why
Problem.
they are going at night?
Maybe they
Jangan
don't know that.
Not suggested.
Most probably.
They just want to build up their muscles.
They're just thinking.
Tak boleh. Because dia meningkat, improve the hormone, increase.
What's the best time?
What's that?
Best time
Day lah.
5 p.m.
In the evening.
Yes, in the
There's no
morning.
choice?
No, you can play, but
Seldom.
yes.
Okay, no more badminton every night.
Keep playing, but seldom. Yes.
Alright.
4 sets. 4 sets is it's not that much.
For what?
4 sets of badminton is not that much.
One set left, 21 point, right? Oh my god.
If you play with me,
Too
why
much,
take it
I
though?
Okay.
Nak ditunggu ya.
Nak dicoba ya.
So guys, I want to share with you all about
1
anxiety.
point.
Anxiety, yes.
Okay.
Normal issue, but
2 minutes.
anxiety in things is going rising. So what's going on?
Apa?
Anxiety.
Oh, anxiety.
Anxiety. Ya Allah. So what's going on? This case rising.
Oh, I thought nowadays teens is like more confident now. I thought today's teens are more confident.
But I think they actually have this kind of insecurity, but they try to cover it by like pretending that they are more proud.
So guys, about cause. What's causing in the rise? I think okay.
I guess
Can
peer
you say?
influence. Peer influence like jebak kawan, terjebak.
Oh yes.
Peer influence, yeah.
So, any more? Before I give my
Social media influencer.
yes.
How does that contribute to anxiety?
How?
Explain.
Okay, right.
Okay, please explain, Rais.
So about
we still have
anxiety,
Yes.
anxiety, guys. So ada by Claire McCarthy. I don't know who, but according to the National Institute of the Health, nearly 3 in 1 of adolescents aged 30 to 80.
30 to 80,
30
like 30.
yes, no 13
13
to 18. Yes, the numbers have rising between 2012 to 2050. And then why anxiety disorder in children and teens went up 20%. This study combined with the rate of hospital admission for suicidal teenager, also doubling over the past decade, give us many concerning questions. So what's causing the rise in teenager with severe anxiety? How did we get here? About cause. What made the anxiety?
Anxiety.
Yes, anxiety. Ya, sebut. Selalu dah tengok sebut penyakit tu. So guys,
I cannot
in this article guys, I can speak English very well, but I try. Okay.
Good for trying. Good.
Okay, the first high expectation and pressure to success. Okay, I think you all know.
Study.
No. Culture for achievement.
Culture achievement is true.
Yes. So very high in higher education research, ask incoming college freshmen if they feel overwhelmed by all they have to do.
Overwhelmed.
So second guys, a world that feels scary and threatening.
Okay.
So can you explain for me what is this?
I don't know. I don't feel the word is scary and threatening.
Come again. What
A
was
world that is scary and threatening.
How?
a word that is scary and threatening?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to explore the world. I don't feel it's scary.
About
so
news.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
the scary news?
Yeah, the scary news in world.
Okay.
Watching or reading the news is
I think the world is not scary, but the people is the one that cause the scary thoughts.
so guys. Your suggestion, your idea is social media.
Okay.
So can you explain for me why social media?
Is this my news or your news?
No, I guess you are.
Okay. About the social media influencer. In my opinion, we all have these gadgets and phone. Like we all have Instagram. We follow those influencers. So when you every day see the same thing that they do, somehow you will feel like you want it to. Like like the boba issue. Like everyone is having boba, so somehow you feel like, what is this boba? You want to try it. Then that's what causes you to like. Once you try, you need to like keeping up with the momentum, like posting, IG story feeds, and then that's what I think will cause you somehow like you feel like you are obligated to this kind of
Lifestyle.
activity. What?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle, to this kind of lifestyle. But I don't think it's necessary. But some people think that social media something that very important, and if you utilize it well, you can actually make money. But for some people who just like,
That is gig economy.
what are you doing? Then I want to do it
Yes.
too. So that's what.
So
Maybe
constantly
can-
connected to social media, it's not surprising that their self-esteem
Yes.
so become
Yes.
become connected to respond to social media posts. It's hard for them not to compare their life with other.
That one is
So social media connection to way they see other posting on social media. So guys, I think that's all from my news. Okay, so we have what discussed about my news. That's good. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay.
thank you so much.
So we have to choose the
Yes,
two.
I want this one.
Yeah. For the
Is this
anxiety.
news is from Star Online? Star Online
Not
or?
now, I mention what I don't.
What is it?
What was the title again?
Anxiety in teens is rising from
Anxiety.
Healthy Children Academy, American Academy, Hereditary.
Alright, so let's just recap about our news today.
We
Yours
have
is about
dementia,
dementia,
fitness, coming from an athlete, nanny,
politeness,
fitness. What is it?
skin bleaching,
Skin
like
bleaching.
beauty industry.
Lifestyle of a retired athlete.
Gig economy in Malaysia.
Anxiety.
I guess
Yeah. Finally.
the economy and anxiety is for me. Like,
Yes.
Okay,
I think gig economy and anxiety as well.
let's do need to vote or not now?
Do anyone have any
Objection
other
to objection.
objections. Yeah. No, I
But
guess
the nanny issue is also
Yeah, nanny issue.
something
Nice
that
issue.
I can't say can never be solved, but the same thing has been repeated over
Yeah.
years, and nothing has been done like to clean cut.
I don't think
The issue.
anything can clean cut the issue.
Yeah, but at least I don't know. Maybe something should be highlight.
Okay, so how?
let's
how
vote.
okay, let's vote lah. Let's vote.
okay. Who's saying for anxiety? Okay,
Okay,
it's
by
done.
majority.
One
Wow.
Gig economy.
Bagi.
Yeah.
Okay, done. Right. So
Come on.
Nanny.
Nanny?
Nanny?
Okay.
So obviously gig economy and anxiety. So the topic we chose today was article from
Rise Domestically.
which is about anxiety, and from
Lukman.
Lokman, and it's about gig economy. Yeah. So that's all from us for today.
Next week will be about our publication.
But next week we are on our mid-sem break.
Yeah, I know, but
And next
I
week.
mean the next the next meeting.
Yeah, maybe week 9, right?
So how are we going to do? Are we like going to print out our?
I guess we have to print out and buy a cardboard and paste all the selected topics and make it as our own news, which at the first video we named our news, right? So we have to, I guess like that.
So are we doing it beforehand or on the day of recording?
I guess on the day of recording,
Alright, sure.
so that we can utilize the 15 minutes.
Okay. Before that, I would like to tell you guys about the date of the publish.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were to publish
The date.
because I'm not around. I will not be around in UPM for that week because I'm participating in mobility. So
Mobility.
I think
Korea?
we can
Where?
get excuse for that.
Myanmar.
Oh,
Yeah,
Myanmar.
I think I just want to inform you earlier.
So did any of your news being
No, I think so.
sure? No.
Sure?
Okay,
Yeah,
you can go then.
Because I guess it's better all of us send the link of our news
yeah,
on in our group, so that even the person is not around, we can take the news alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's all.
Alright, that's all.
Thank you. Bye. Wow, lama juga kita discussion.
Kakak ingat.